Hello, everybody. How are ya? Hope you're all having a good week. How's your Christmas shopping been going? Is it done? I mean, at this point, well, yeah. Hopefully, I mean, I know back in the day, my grandpa used to wait until Christmas Eve sometimes to get some of my nan's presents. And I remember he used to, it was just a thing he did. He loved the thrill of New Year's Eve Christmas shopping. So I don't know. Bless his soul for that because I can't can't do the shopping. I used to like run around here on Long Island. We have a very famous mall called Roosevelt Field. It's like the mall that every kid goes to growing up and loves this mall. Like, it's just the Long Island jam for us Long Island kids. And I remember growing up, I would run to Roosevelt Field every Christmas season and do all my Christmas shopping with my parents, and it was a big day for us, and it was really sweet. It was a day that we all got to be together. We would all get to the mall, then we'd split up. I would go with my dad to shop for my mom, and then my mom and my brother would take off to shop for me and my dad, and then we'd meet up for dinner in the food court. It was just like a fun time. And you know being out here in LA now on my own, I'm really missing my family. I'm gonna be honest. I miss the absolute heck out of those people, out of the Blonsky bunch. And now here, when I'm in LA thinking about the holidays, I'm so thankful for those times in Roosevelt Field Mall and for the times that I got to spend at my nan's house on my holidays, because those are the moments that have given me the memories and have filled my soul enough so that now here I am, you know, gonna be chilling in LA kind of solo for the holidays with a friend. But, so I mean, those are the memories that make me go, okay, you had an amazing childhood. So chill out. You can have a Christmas, chilling out with your friends and just, doing your thing. So while I miss my family, I've had some incredible Christmases. So don't feel bad for me. But of course, I'll be sad without them. But I hope you've all had a great holiday season. And here we go, 2021. Let's do this, people. Let's do it. Um, and, I can't wait to see what you all do in 2021, what your plans are, what you want to accomplish. And I plan to ask my guests today those very questions. So, Emily Landsman, let's talk fashion and shoes. Oh my gosh, shoes. Yes.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Oh my God, your Christmas tree is gorgeous.
Thank you. We're feeling very much in the spirit. We kind of celebrate everything in this house. So, like, the menorah is on the other side of the room, but we intermingle.
I love that. I love that. I do not have,
Happy holidays.
this is as close as I've got to a Christmas tree this year, a Christmas tree scented candle.
Obsessed. So actually, it was a big dispute because we have a fake tree this year, and I love the smell so much, but our compromise was like fake tree with the candle, and then we also got some of the essential oils that are like balsam fir scented.
Yeah, I know. I lit it and I was like, wow, it actually does smell like a Christmas
Yeah.
tree. So I'm okay. Growing up, we only had real trees. And then as we got older, they're a lot of work.
Yes. We have
Constantly cleaning up, constantly cleaning up the pine cones. And I don't know if you have dogs, but I used to have two pugs, and I will tell you, that's when my dogs would hide everything under the Christmas tree blanket. We would
Oh.
everything from their toys to chicken nuggets we would put in their dinner. And I'm not kidding, every Christmas without fail I would go give everybody their gifts, and I'd be like, what is under the Chris, and I would lift up the Christmas tree blanket, and there would be like McDonald's chicken nuggets, and they would stash them under there.
That actually sounds so nice. And maybe it was Santa. You don't know.
It might have been. Well, where are you spending Christmas this year?
So we actually just moved to Cape Cod, which is
Beautiful.
like really, really fun, but we have both lived in cities for a very long time. So it's kind of like I hadn't really been to a grocery store for years. I'm used to having everything delivered, like Amazon's like, oh yeah, you're a Prime member, it'll take 3.5 weeks, and I'm like, my entire life just changed. But it's really, especially given everything that's going on in this world, it's nice to be out of the city. It's nice to have a little more space.
I'm sure. I'm
And
sure.
you are in California, is that right?
I am. I'm in LA now. Yeah, I was just talking about that, how I do kind of miss the East Coast, especially this time of year. There's something magical that happens in New York, I believe, at Christmas time. Like the city
Yes.
just takes on a whole other feel, a whole other vibe. It feels alive in a lot of senses.
Yep. I agree. I grew up in New York also. So even being in Boston and now Cape Cod, it's like I miss being in New York for Christmas. I was there a couple weeks ago, and it just, I feel like I can breathe the fresh New York air, through my mask and all of that. But it's still, New York at Christmas time is like magical. I lived in California for 10 years also, and it was a little bit like, and there's cute Christmas lights on palm trees, which is very cute as well, but it's a little bit of a different vibe.
It's a totally different vibe. I mean, especially I grew up in New York. Even though I've been coming out to LA for like 14 years on and off, New York is just, it's always been my home. I've always made it my home. I've always gone back. So, yeah, not having that cold weather, a little bit of snow feels a little weird, but I'm taking it one day at a time. What can
It's
you?
charming, but then of course there are drawbacks also. It's like charming when you're inside, and then as soon as
Yeah,
I take my little puppies out, I'm like, oh, you do your business and come back in because it is cold.
I know, I know. It is. It does get that chill, like that to the bone chill in New York.
Yeah.
So I will say I'm not sad that I'm missing that this year. But I mean, I was just reading an interview that you did. So you are into shoes. Oh my gosh, into shoes is not even doesn't even cover it. I thought I loved
Occupational
shoes.
hazard.
I thought I loved shoes, but then no. So tell me about your journey and how this all started with you and designing and everything like that.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's been a long one. I mean, I always loved drawing shoes from a really young age. And in fact, I do have this sketch that I did of a shoe store window when I was like 5 years old, that of course my mother had framed, and it's on newsprint. So it's like all yellowed, and it's just like, it's not a great masterpiece, but of course the nostalgia is there. And it
It's
is just
there.
funny that like it's been so consistent throughout my life. And I always growing up loved art, but then I loved a lot of things also. I loved history and science and English and math. And I was sort of like, what am I going to do with art? So then fast forward many years later, I worked in corporate footwear design for 16 years. So I designed for Alice and Olivia and Diane von Furstenberg, Via Spiga, many others along the way.
Vera Wang, what?
Vera Wang, yes, that was a really, really fun one as well. And just, I feel so grateful and fortunate to have gotten such a taste of so many types of shoe design. And there's something about shoes that is just different from anything else in life. And I love that combination of this creative aesthetic art form with something really technical that has to support someone's entire body weight. And so I fell in love with shoes many years ago. And then I thought that it was entirely impractical to ever venture out on my own. And I was like, why would I step away from the corporate world? I'm comfortable, I'm in my routine. And I don't know what it was with this whole quarantine thing, but I actually had COVID-19, luckily very mild case. And I was resting and I was bored and I was in my own head like I never have been before. And I just said, there's something missing from this world. And I finally could kind of articulate what I felt like that was. So I just really started designing Della Terra in June. So it feels actually like it's been brewing for my entire life, but it's a fairly new project. And so we're launching in the spring and really just so excited about it.
That's so exciting. And I was going to ask you, I mean, fashion is obviously a passion for a lot of people, but what do you think it is about shoes? Because I know for me growing up, I was obsessed with my grandmother's high heels, my aunt's high heels. When people used to come over to my house, right? They used to take their shoes off in the front of the house, and then when my parents had their attention, and if it was like a woman and she had like fantastic shoes, I would just go and try them on all over the house. And I can't tell you how many of my parents' friends have gone to like the front door of our house when I was a kid, been ready to walk out and be like, where are my shoes? I was obsessed with shoes. What do you think it is about shoes rather than just, regular clothes or, any other accessory?
I think honestly, in some ways, it's something so intangible that I can't even articulate it. It's magic. There's something about shoes that just feels different from anything else out there. And I also think just having an appreciation for the work that goes into creating them, in some ways, they're harder to create than anything else that exists. And there's so much love that goes into figuring out every single pair of shoes. And I think also there's something about the fact that they literally take you on your journey. So you can go on your journey without your clothes. It might not be advised. But you really can't get there without your shoes because they're quite practical at the same time. They were actually designed originally to protect us. And I think that there's something really amazing about that. And I still feel like if I'm nervous about something, which being a new business owner, I am every day about something else, if I know what shoes I'm wearing, I'm ready,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And there's something like so empowering about that.
There's something about putting on, I remember I've had a lot of shoes that I've loved over my lifetime. But I think for me, when I put on, because they had during Hairspray, they custom made all of our shoes. So I think for me,
And
the first,
they're gorgeous, by the way. Own it on iTunes. Obsessed. Your performance is amazing. Just
thank
have to
you.
toss that in.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I mean, when I put on those little flats for the first time, I was just I was in Tracy mode instantly. I found her. It was one thing, it was just one thing to put the skirt on and the wig, but the shoes, the little flats or the little keds always just sealed the deal for me. So shoes definitely, we go back to certain movies like Cinderella as a kid and you see, was that a big movie for you? Was that
Definitely.
okay? Yeah. So
In
for
fact, I always wanted glass slippers. I still have not logistically figured it out in a way that doesn't seem very hazardous, but I still want actual glass slippers.
I know. I remember, growing up and watching that movie. I wanted glass slippers. I wanted the one. I wanted the whole gamut. Um, growing up, what was a pair of shoes that stuck out for you? That was like one of your favorite pairs. Think looking back now as a kid.
So I only had eyes for Mary Janes. And I was like, I still actually am like this a little bit. Who are we kidding? But I love a party dress. And my mom tells this story about the first time that she took me to Burger King, and I was very excited to go. And I came down the stairs in like full on poof dress with patent leather Mary Janes. And so I think that for me, there was something about a Mary Jane, and especially like those little girls' Mary Janes that are just like so round in the toe, and they almost look like little square blocks with like a T-strap, and I just thought that was so cute.
Oh, I went to Catholic school. I know all about the Mary Jane game. I can't tell you, every year I had to buy a new pair of those things. And I love them. I did. I thought they were adorable too. So I'm right there with you. That's so cute. That's like the cutest story ever. I love that. So
There's
your
something
mom
about
knew
shoes.
from a young age that you had a passion for this?
She did, and also, like many good parents, they were sort of like, "That's such a fun hobby. Poppy, you're a strong student. Why don't you pursue academics? And I'm like, that's reasonable. So I actually went to college thinking I was going to go pre-law and be a lawyer, and still something that interests me, like on TV a lot. But I sort of was like, what am I going to do with shoes?
Well, I was just telling my parents yesterday, I was like, I just want to thank you guys for believing in me even when I didn't believe in myself, or letting this little girl with a dream, like letting that dream become a reality and take over. Because, as a parent, I'm sure I'm not a parent, but I'm sure when you hear from your kids like that art or theater maybe is the way they want to go, a little bit of worry sets in. And they're like,
Yeah.
because they worry about us and they just want us, to have a good life and easy a life as possible. And art and sometimes theater and performing, you never know what's going to come across. And so I was just telling my parents, I was like, thank you guys for just going on this crazy journey with me and letting me do my thing. So it's great that your parents were super supportive as well. And looks like it's paying off. Does your mom get shoes now?
She does. And actually, so she's a little bummed because at Della Terra, our sample size is not her size, but at Vera Wang, it was. So
So
girl's
pick
got
and
a
choose your battles,
killer
mom.
closet. Yeah. And we'll definitely keep her in shoes. So she's got nothing to worry about.
I think one of my favorite parts about Della Terra is the fact that it's shoes for everybody. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Thank you so much for bringing that up. So, one of the things that I feel is so, so important in fashion is that we get to define it for ourselves. And that's a lot of the reason that I felt like something like Della Terra was missing, because we've been prescribing fashion for so long. When I was in graduate school in 2005, I said that I wanted to do a final project that was about sustainability and inclusivity in fashion. And it was sort of like, that's nice, but I doubt you're going to see that happen in your lifetime. It's too hard to educate the consumer. It's too hard. What would the marketing be like? All these logistical questions. And what I love about what's happening right now is that people are picking and choosing the way they want to represent themselves. So we will never have a men's section and a women's section on our site. We have shoes that are genderless. People may choose their genders. The shoes are genderless. And we will tell you what sizes they're available in so that we can make it super easy for you to find the size you're used to shopping. But I want to make sure that these shoes feel inclusive of everybody as we go, because I just think that's also the future of what the consumer is demanding.
Absolutely. I love that you said demanding, because that is where the world is headed. And fashion catch up, everybody catch up, so I think it's incredible of you and the brand. And I'm so excited for the spring and to see the line. I've heard a lot about it. And I mean, fashion for me growing up as a New Yorker, I've gone to New York Fashion Week a couple of times, and that is always so much fun. Have you ever been to New York Fashion Week? Is that something?
I have, and it's something actually, I mean, I've been really lucky to go to some amazing shows, but some of the really small self-produced shows can be really fun to see too, because there's just so much creativity that goes into every single show. And I think there's something very theatrical about all of
Yeah.
it. And the whole kind of procession outside of New York Fashion Week and what people are wearing on the streets and what they're showing up for, I think can be so amazing. But it is also incredible to just see your own shoes walking down some of these runways at shows like Vera Wang and DVF. That was really pretty amazing.
I'm sure. And then, as a girl who grew up in New York, that just adds like a whole other element when you're at like Diane von Furstenberg, and then, yes, a pair of your shoes goes by on the runway and you're like, yeah, I'm sure that feeling was probably like heart stopping. It was so exciting.
There's something also about Fifth Avenue. My first New York office was on Fifth Avenue, and
Oh,
all of a sudden I was trekking to New York one day. I was trekking to my office one day, and I lived on the Upper East Side at 88th and York. So even though my office was in Midtown, my commute was like an hour and 15 minutes, two subways, a mile
Yeah.
long walk. You know, it was like that first New York commute that I think we've all had. And I loved every second of it just because I was like, I'm going to the fashion capital of the planet right now, and that's where I work.
It's yeah, I very much felt that way with theater. Like there was a time when I was doing off Broadway and I was running in. I remember I would get up at like 7 in the morning, get on the train by like 8 something, 9 something, and do like 2 shows a day, and then like auditions in, like on my lunch break. And I went in the middle of one of the shows. I flew out to LA, filmed a TV show, and then came back. It was wild.
Wow.
So yeah, it's New York, when you're doing something very New York like fashion or theater in the Mecca, you step up your game. You're like, I'm going to run to work. I'm going to get my cute little outfit on. But I will tell you, I'm bad. I used to have my high heels and I used to do the whole thing. Now I wear sneakers and carry them with me. Is that okay?
That is beyond okay. And also part of what we're doing with Della Terra also is, even though I am a fashion girl, I'm a shoe girl, I'm also 4'11", so I'll take all the height I
I'm
can
four
get.
foot 10. I know the struggle
That's
is very
right.
real. It's so real.
But at the same time, I think that we are not about asking people to make compromises. So I think that there is a lot of uncharted territory that is amazingly fashionable, but also really comfortable at the same time. That doesn't look like a quote unquote comfort shoe. So I think I'm all for that. And we are busy people. So you can't have your shoes slowing you down at this point in time. And I used to do the same thing. I used to literally wear my stilettos and I would be like going up and down the subway stairs. And I now feel that in my knees. And I think I've done some serious damage. But now
Honestly,
it's not about that.
I've had some injuries in my day. Nothing compares to the pain of like 8 inch, like, Prada heels. No, like
Yeah.
nothing compares. I would please, kidney stone, whatever. No, those heels when they're just, yeah, it's not fun. But
Taxi to the restaurant only.
I always taxi. I'm the worst New Yorker. I also never know where I'm going. So if you're ever in New York with me, don't ask me for directions. Just ask my best friend Gino. He knows. I'm the worst New Yorker when it comes to that. I never know. Directions, none of that. No.
So the
But
question is though, do you acknowledge that you don't know where you're going? Because sometimes I will like very confidently keep walking and I'll actually have other people following me. And then I will realize that I have no idea where I'm going and why are you following me?
well, see, I'm a short little woman, and I walk and march like I'm a little woman on a mission. So my friends automatically go, "Oh, she knows where she's going. Great, we'll follow her." And then we end up completely out of the way. We end up at the wrong theater. Yeah. So my friends now know she looks like she knows where she's going. She looks like she's on the right track. Do not follow her. We'll end up somewhere where we definitely don't want to be. So yeah, I always look like I know where I'm going, but I think
Totally
it's
look
that
the part.
confidence. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like if you look like you know what you're doing, then people are more inclined to believe it. But yeah, if you see me in New York, guys, don't ask for directions. Just
I'd
maybe
follow
maybe
you.
ask where like Times Square is and maybe where Hairspray used to play. I can direct you in that way. But other than that,
What else does one need to know?
right. Oh my gosh. Well, where can we keep up with you for the shoes and for your own personal social media and everything like that?
Oh, thank you for asking. So we have an Instagram for Della Terra. It's at Della Terra Shoes. We are very slowly sneak peeking on there. So since we haven't released product yet, there's just a little bit of a glimpse of what will happen. Same thing on TikTok at Della Terra. And then my personal Instagram is at Shoes. because
Awesome.
I'm Emily Landsman, and della terra means of the land.
I love that. I love that. And I know I did a TikTok. I duetted the pups. They're so cute. They're so
Thank you
adorable.
so much. They are so much trouble, so don't be fooled. But they are, of course, loves of my life, but they're just over a year old, so they're still in that like
Puppy
we're
stage.
acting mature, but then we're gonna like rip a limb off the Christmas tree at any given moment.
Do they like to chew on shoes?
They would if they could. There have only been like a few incidents that honestly I don't want to talk about. No, nothing that dramatic, but like a pair of slippers definitely was a casualty. And I think if the shoes were not like in their own area, they probably would be destroying them. But that will not be tolerated in this house.
You got to keep them under lock and key.
Yes,
The
both
shoes,
the
not the
shoes and the
dogs.
dogs.
Oh my gosh, you're great. Well, have an incredible holiday. Thank you
You
so
too. It
much
was
for
so
joining me.
amazing to meet you, Nikki, and thank you so much for having me.
Well, I mean, it's such a pleasure. It's so nice to talk to somebody who, has like a passion and a very different passion, That's what I really appreciate yours is it's so unique and you go full steam ahead and you're doing this and you're doing it your way. And I love that and I respect that immensely. So good luck to you. I'm rooting for you all the way.
Thank you so much. Please keep in touch.
Always. Be well.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
My gosh, she's so sweet. I love her work. If you all go check out Della Terra on TikTok and on Instagram, I'm just so excited for what is to come for this brand because, like we said, it's inclusivity for everybody with this shoe line, and everybody's going to be able to just go on, pick their size, and pick out their shoes and have them be incredible and comfortable and fashionable. And yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited to try them on. I hope they have them a little baby shoe size because I have little feet. I think I'm like, yeah, I'm like really little. I work, all right, guys, ready? Secret time. I wear 3.5 in kids' Converse. I know. If you don't believe me, I have them over here and I'll show them on another episode when I can get to them. They're literally a 3.5 in kids' Converse. You can ask any wardrobe person I've ever worked with. They've had to buy 3.5, but it has saved the movies a lot in the budget, I'm sure, because hey, you don't have to buy adult shoes. You could just buy kid shoes for me. Anyway, I wish you all an incredible holiday season, and I hope that your 2021 is wonderful and bright and light, way lighter than 2020, way brighter. And I hope you all just have a lot of health and fun and adventure this upcoming year. And I'm always wishing you well, but especially during the holiday season. The holiday season is sometimes can be a little bit of a tough holiday season for certain people. I know, I miss certain people this time of year that have passed on, and people are missing people. People aren't spending the holidays with family like they usually are. So, like I encourage you to do every other time of year, reach out to your family and friends, your loved ones. Let them know that you care. Let them know that you're there for them. That just because everybody's out there singing Frosty the Snowman and Jingle Bells and everybody's in a Christmas spirit, if they're not, it's okay. Support them. Let them know they're not alone. It's harder for some people to be rocking around the Christmas tree, but just know that people love you and you're supported, and I love you and I support you always. And your love and support, all of you, it means the world to me every day that I get to do a podcast, get to talk to awesome people with incredible passions and that are doing great things in the world, like Emily Landsman. So from Emily and myself, happy holidays. From the team at Nikki Nights, thank you for making this a thing so many months ago. I kept saying, you guys are making it a thing, you're making it a thing, and now we're a show. And we do this every week, and it's fun, and it's a lot of new and exciting things that I'm finding on my own journey every day. As I do this show and as my career unfolds in front of me, I'm learning so much about myself. So thank you for letting me take the time to do that with you all, since quarantine has started. And thank you for listening to Nikki Nights. So I love you all. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a very blessed and happy and healthy new year to you and all of your loved ones. Be well. Bye, everybody. See you soon.